Hello you beautiful people, Chachuk's over here, and today I'm going to show you how to be a big juicy pumper offensive tank in New World. I've been playing this build since the beginning through leveling and also at endgame content, and it worked pretty good for me. It's a build which provides quite a good defensiveness, but at the same time it will transform you into a big juicy DPSer, which can help your party and also can give you a good stance in PvP situations. Now, when it comes to tanking in New World, in order to be a proper tank, you need to know that you need to gain that aggro and maintain it throughout the fight. When it comes to gaining that aggro, raw damage is the first generator of it, but second to that, you have special abilities on certain weapons, mostly the strength ones, or only the strength ones, which can be activated into taunt abilities, but you only activate those abilities to perform as a taunt only when you use a carnelian gem into your weapons, this little red shiny gem, which enables your taunt, as you can see, and also makes you generate more threat. Keep in mind that in order to be a tank, you need, or in order to have those abilities activated as taunts, you need to have the carnelian gem only in your weapons, not in your gear. If you put that gem in your gear, you will decrease your threat generation. So gem, carnelian gem only in weapons. When it comes to weapons, of course, sword and shield is the bread and butter of the tanking weapons, and as a secondary you can pair it with any other strength weapon, but for main tanking situations like heavy dungeon bosses, arena bosses, or even elite zones, keep your shield up and your sword next to you to off DPS when possible. When it comes to attribute distribution, because we are playing an offensive build but still a tanky one, you definitely need a lot of constitution to be able to resist and survive. From the beginning of my leveling, all my points went into constitution up until I got to this little dot over here, which increases your armor to 20%, which synergizes really good with this dot, increase max health by 10% of your physical armor. In my opinion, this is enough constitution for any type of content. The moment I reached this dot, I poured everything into strength to increase my power, to increase my damage. I do have a bit more constitution now, which comes from the gear, but from the moment I will min-max the gear, I will respec and get just this amount of constitution and then everything into strength, which most likely will make it maybe balanced con strength, maybe a bit more con in general, but still it will provide, as I said, with enough survivability and the good amount of strength into power to be that juicy blaster that you want to become. Moving on to the talents, I do use more points into Swordmaster side rather than the Defender one, and the main reason why I'm doing this is the final row, the final talent. I do value more the leadership other than defense information, and let me tell you why. Leadership provides a 10% damage increase for yourself, for solo content, or for every party member as well when you are paired with other people. So at any given point you give to yourself and your party members 10% more damage, which it's always good, right? More damage, faster killing. You cannot go wrong with this. On the counter side, defense information provides a 30% damage reduction to your party while they are 2 meters away from you or around you all the time you're blocking. So basically it doesn't provide anything for yourself. It does help your party, but they need to be around you in your proximity, right? If you'll play with this, you'll see a little circle around you. Everybody who is in that circle will have 30% reduced damage. On paper this looks really good, but in reality not too many people will be able to stand on the tank in most of the encounters. This might be a really good talent, for example, for Fort Worth PvP situations in which you want to control points and everybody's stacked up on that point. But for PvE, dungeons, arenas and stuff like that, normally you cannot stand on the tank since the bosses or the mobs will have frontals, cleave movements, cleave attacks and stuff like that. So in general, it will not provide too big of a help towards the entire group rather than passive flat 10% damage. Now when it comes to active abilities, you definitely want to go with Defiant Stance and Shield Bash, as these are your main taunting abilities, and these two synergizes extremely well with Reverse Step, and I'm going to tell you why in a moment. But first of all, Defiant Stance is your bread and butter when it comes to defensiveness. It's a big defensive ability which is also acting like a big AoE taunt, and when you pair it with the last talent, at the end of it you gain 50% of your max health back. Now there's a little trick: if you want an instant 50% max health back, you can pop Defiant Stance and switch to your secondary weapon. The moment you do that, you'll get the HP back, but of course you will lose the defensive buff. Moving on, Shield Bash provides a really good taunt, single target, or even AoE if you position correctly, and also provides a 2-second stun. Really good. Pair it up with the second row to increase the damage of it because you want to be a bit more offensive, and you are good to go. Now, when it comes to the synergy of Reverse Stab, the most important thing is not Reverse Stab itself, it's the third talent, the Tactician one. On successful hit with Reverse Stab, all sword cooldowns are reduced by 25%. So the moment you have cooldowns on both Shield Bash or Defiant Stance, use Reverse Stab on a target or on multiple targets and you gain those abilities back faster, well, with 25% faster, which is really good for even single target boss fights. But if you are able to hit 4 or more targets, you will instantly get back these two abilities, which is insanely strong. Like, think about it. You pop your defensiveness, you stun everything in front of you, you hit everybody with Reverse Stab, and then you already have the defensiveness back, the heal back, another taunt, another stun, and you're good to go. So that's why, as a tank, either defensive type of tank, either offensive type of tank, I do recommend to pair these two skills with Reverse Stab from the Swordmaster, even if you don't want to go full Swordmaster build, even if you want to go more into Defender. Now, when it comes to all the passive talents, it's a bit of a mix and match based on everybody's playstyle, I would say, but I go with Recuperation from the Defender side to have additional healing available. I go with Sturdy Shield to grant additional physical armor, which, as you saw, grants a bit more HP as well. And I do use Final Blow. Third attack in your light attack deals 50% more damage and causes more threat, helping you with your threat generation plus more damage, which is the thing that we want to chase, right? Now, this Final Blow talent synergizes really good with Achilles Heel and with Opportunist. Achilles Heel provides a slow in your third attack of your light attack to everybody you are hitting with it, and then Opportunist deals 10% more damage to slowed enemies. To increase your big damage as a tank, you can also use Empowered Stab. Successfully heavy attack grants 30% empower for 5 seconds, which can be also synergized really good with Freeing Justice. Successfully hitting a heavy attack causes you to lose 1 debuff. Currently I'm not playing with that, but most likely I'll respec in the nearest future and get these two paired up. Moving on, I have Sword critical strike chance increased by 10%. While health is full, deals 50% more damage from Confidence. Again, this might not be the best, since as a tank it's going to be a rare moment when your HP is going to be at full, but can work. It's a situational talent which can pretty much work. Another really good talent which you always want to have is when you block an attack, gain a stack of Empowered, granting a 3% damage increase for 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. This counter attack is always going to be up, since as a tank you will be blocking most of the time. And that's pretty much about my Sword and Shield talents. As I said, a bit more offensive rather than defensive, since the extra constitution you're using will provide good amount of defensiveness. And when it comes to a second weapon, you can use either Hatchet, Warhammer, Great Axe, or Spear, since all of these are empowered by Strength. Spear is a secondary empowerment by Strength, so Great Axe, Warhammer, or Hatchet will provide a better damage for those off moments in which you can DPS as a tank. I would say Hatchet is a really good one, since the Berserk ability acts as a big AoE taunt as well, just like Defiant Stance, and at the same time it provides a really good self-healing. And on top of it, Defy Death, the final talent from Berserker side, grants you an immunity the moment you die. So situational can be top notch to leave for extra 3 seconds for the group to get down those bosses or those big packs. Great Axe and Warhammer can be situational, both of them providing a bit of leech, a bit of self-heal as well, but choose which one fits better your playstyle. So far this build served me pretty damn well in any type of encounter. As I said, tanking elite zones, tanking dungeons, arena bosses, PvP, Fort Wars, even world PvP and invasions, since you are a heavy constitution build but still having enough strength to DPS your enemies down. Let me know in the comment section below if you think you're gonna use this build or what other builds you might like so far in New World. Thank you for watching, hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and I invite you to see this build also in action live on twitch.tv/Chachuks every day starting from 1 PM Eastern European time. Until then, keep on grinding, boys.